Hello. It's Friday. I'm not singing today because last time I tried to sing, I messed up and I didn't have a song and it was the most uncomfortable I've ever been. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm Luke. I'm your host and I have my buddy Daniel Greer with me today. You've not been on in a hot minute, right?
You're welcome. Maybe.
Yeah, that was it. It was a thank you. Yes.
Yeah, wasn't
The
sure.
right answer.
Yeah.
You read the cue card right. You read the card right.
It's been a minute. Yes, for sure. Honestly, excited to be on here to kind of just chat about the end of the season because it obviously is among, just sitting right there, just waiting to be finished.
So close.
I have, like, at the end of the year, I have so much fun, and this is to put over myself, but also, my little girls. So the last show of the season is usually a Sunday. And so I always, for the last, I guess 2 years that we've done shows, post game shows, my little girls want to come on the show.
Oh
And so
yeah.
the last game of the year, they always come on with me, and we're going to do a full post-game show with them. They have no idea about any of the basketball, but I think it's usually good content.
Yeah.
I'll talk
Your
with
kids
about
are
everything. So check it out. It's obviously Grizz 901 on Bluff City Media Network. If you're watching here on YouTube or Twitter, you're going to see it at the same time. But yeah, Sunday about 5:00 is about when the game will end. So it should be a lot of fun.
there?
Nate, I don't think so. Nate has an actual what is it? So his wife is pregnant. They're having a baby. Gender reveal. They're having a gender reveal. I couldn't remember which
Gander reveal.
Gender.
Oh, I see.
Gender.
What we do at my house, we just let ducks out and let them off at people. A gander reveal. Personally,
Gander.
I think they're stupid.
What's I've never heard. I thought you were just saying
gander. It's like a goose. No, a gander. It's a gander is like a goose or duck.
No, yeah.
I hope I'm right. God,
Sure.
That's something that I would look foolish like if I made that up. So let us know in the comments if gander is in fact a goose or a duck. But we play basketball tonight. That's not a good segue. But the Lakers are a couple of geeses. That's a good segue. I should have done that the first time. We're gonna get our asses kicked tonight, I think. I think tonight might be a really ugly game.
It will be. I would imagine. There's only going to be 8 guys active. I'd imagine it's going to be a game where I don't know, but if LeBron's going to play. So that's obviously still up in the air. But realistically, we're talking about 8 guys that outside of a couple won't even be like on the roster. Like the only one that's on the roster is definitely Gigi and potentially going to be Jake. But like you're talking about 2 guys, and that of the 8. And there's 3 of them or 2 of them that are on 2-way contracts, and one of them who's on one right now that could get offered another one for next year. And Jordan Goodwin, we're talking about a bunch of guys that will not even be a part of your real team next year.
You know how many guys we've signed to various 10 days and 2 ways? How many?
Yeah, so a total of 50 on the seat. No,
it's
right?
50 starting lineups.
No, 33 players.
Total players. 16 of them are 10 days and 2-way guys.
Wow. That's crazy.
For 21 total contracts.
Yeah.
He has chiseled this stuff together.
Yep.
I got to give him, I mean, I think he deserves some credit because I was talking to my buddy about this my pediatrician. He's not my pediatrician. He's my buddy. That's a pediatrician.
Sure.
But I call him my pediatrician.
Sure.
Is it a money saving thing? Because he doesn't understand. He was like, why don't we go get vet minimums? I was like, dude, when you can just get these 10-day guys and string them together and just stop the bleeding.
Well, you don't want to get vet minimums because that actually takes away from a real contract. So they would have to release somebody, and you can't trade anybody anymore. So
he's a pediatrician, not a basketball guy. I just talking. We're just talking.
Bro,
he watches the show too.
Love you, but don't quit your day job, whoever you are, pediatrician.
No, Anush, stick to peds, man. Stick to peds.
I agree.
Scottie Pippen Jr., he'll be on the team next year. That might be one.
Yes.
And that has been one. I mean, say what you want. I mean, I think we all expected Gigi to eventually be good. I think he was better earlier. I didn't see Scottie Pippen Jr. coming like at all. And at least not to be, he seems like he's more than a 2-way guy, whereas everyone else is playing to their contract. I don't feel that about him.
Yeah, I think he's a great guy to actually have as your third point guard for sure. And
Mhm.
honestly, we have Derrick Rose on the under contract still. I think that Derrick Rose, when he's at his peaks, peak of powers, Derrick Rose, I think he is amazing, and I
Yeah,
think he's great
same.
for this team. I think he's a great locker room guy. I think he can give a lot of good insight to a guy who's honestly kind of had a trouble the past couple of years. And John Morant, are the face of our team, the face of potentially a part of the league. But I think that you're going to have to lean on Derrick Rose still, unless he's going to retire. And I don't see him opting out like that. And so I don't know.
Can he be like a consigliere like Doc Rivers was with the Bucks? Like, can we just do that? It just seems like a lot to have him take up a roster spot.
But it's not a big deal. Like, honestly, if we're really upset about, let's say he is the 10th guy, okay? It's not that big of a deal on a team. Normally, like he's not playing over these other guys. The only reason he's playing is because he actually can handle the ball. He can get
Yeah.
your offense in certain sets. He can give you a little bit of boost of power. He can give you a little bit of locker room leadership. That's what he gives you. It's okay to have it on your roster. Like these other guys that are just meh and they're a bunch of the same. That's the reason that it looks so bad having him under contract. It's not that he's a bad player. It's just he's hurt.
No.
If you have a guy like Scottie Pippen Jr. who's on a two-way contract already, it doesn't matter if you have him on the roster because both those two guys together, what are they getting paid? $2.5 million total between them.
Scottie Pippen's making like 550,000.
Like I said,
yeah, like
because what's Rose making? Is he making 2, 3? I don't even know anymore.
I think it's less than 3.
Yeah, so whatever. $3 million for your backup point guard total.
Who and I think people forget when he was playing, he was good. He was shooting really well. He was like every time he played, he popped. It's just he got hurt. Like people like to gang up on him, but it's stupid. Do you think how many more rebounds do they get than us tonight?
It depends on how close the game is. I think
they still win.
Yeah, I think if they want to get 20 more than us, I think they can. Just for the simple fact that you have Anthony Davis going against a guy like Trey Jemison, who's great and he's growing up, which is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not ready. He's still a two-way guy.
Yes.
I just think that if they want to be dominant, they can be. It just depends on how much they want to be. And listen, I have a big game out of Rui coming. I expect him to play well. My money says he's going to play well. My stuff that I've put in on the back end way before this, maybe around like 11 o'clock last night when I was doing my stuff for my betting show, that all says that he's going to have a big game. So I expect Rui to have a good game, especially after the comments he made last time he was here.
Rui Hachimura? Who? Hoorah? Who? Is there an Allen here? Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I want to talk to you about this game. Oh, so we're TJ.
Yeah.
I don't think, clearly we've been saying this since I've known you. People just like to hate Taylor Jenkins, just hate him. It's funny. I don't get it. And I get the critiques. There are critiques that are warranted. I'm not saying he's the best coach ever, but when you look at, I think he's done a phenomenal job this year. Like I think that you're seeing his strengths as a coach. Yeah. And granted, I don't necessarily think that he is the coach to get us over the hump. I don't know if he's that guy. Yes, but you're seeing his strengths as a coach this season, like developing guys. I'm just saying, like, I just feel like he needs to get. He won't win Coach of the Year, nor should he. But I think that he's the reasons why Memphis developed some guys the way they did were no small part because of him. And like he's doing the same with we're beating the Bucks with 8 guys with one of them on an NBA contract.
Right. No, I agree.
Impressive.
So a little bit on Taylor Jenkins, he has done a great job this year. And I think that there's been not many people that have said negative things about him once this season was lost, for the simple fact that he's kept them semi-relevant. He's kept developing guys. And when I say I mean the entire staff over there. And I know he would say the same thing if he was talking about himself. And so I don't want to discredit that. We just talk about him because he's the figurehead, right? And I know
Yeah.
you do the same way. Everybody does the same
Yes.
thing. We talk about Taylor Jenkins, but we're really talking about the staff, like as a whole. And we're talking about the front office on what and who they're finding. When we talk about Zach Kleiman, it is Rich Chu. It's also Tayshaun Prince. It's the entire group, right? But what I will say about him is he's shown the leadership to get these guys to continue to keep playing, even though they've had so many different people come in and out of the locker room. And I think that goes to show of the culture that he's kind of put out, but also it goes to show these other guys that are playing, like Jaren, hats off to him for playing 65 games this year.
Yeah.
He's grown up a lot. And I know Desmond Bane's been part of it. And I know John Moran as well and the other guys. But once you're removed so far, a lot of that, it's hard for you to speak up. But because Jaren's been playing, I think he's actually had a bigger voice than probably a past season. So big credit out to Taylor Jenkins. But I will say, he has to figure out how to make adjustments and get this team over the hump when it comes to the big games.
Yes.
I think that's his only issue. Like the challenges. I don't know if you've seen this. He's literally leading in the challenges won percentage.
Yeah.
Like there's so much stuff that he's developed that he's done so well that he can't figure out, little things that are still just, they stick out like a sore thumb. Once he can figure that out, I think he could be the guy for the future, but we don't know until we get into the big games, and we have to wait practically a whole year until that happens.
Yeah. That's, I think a lot of people viewed this year before it happened as like it was an important year for him. Like how far we went would matter. And I think he definitely bought himself one more year, but I mean, sure. I'm just think that if he can figure out adjustments, man, he's a hell of a coach. Yeah. But I mean, Budenholzer couldn't figure it out, got him fired,
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes you lose the locker room depending on, your voice gets stale. I think that's all that happened with Budenholzer. It's not that he's not a good coach. And, I know he's not hired somewhere else to be a head coach, but I will say that usually when you lose the locker room in a sense, sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I think they're seeing that Milwaukee with the two decisions that they made to let go of the two recent coaches to now they have Doc Rivers, and just everything has gone the worst possible direction. It goes to show that these guys, they have the locker room, they have their vets, their leaders. They lost and Budenholzer lost Giannis in a sense, and I think that's really what was the downfall to all of this.
Yeah, and I mean that organization is gonna curtail to Giannis no matter what,
for sure, as they should.
But as they should. He is the Greek freak. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, we're gonna talk about another freak. That felt rude. I don't know. I was going to talk about Joker, but I don't know. I was trying to make him comparable to the freak. It was bad. I'm going to get better. I'm getting better.
The Joker and Batman is kind of a freak, so it works.
Oh, but I hate DC Comics. You should know this. All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
Not just the level of individual talent that he plays with, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, and now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side.
Yeah.
His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward.
Right.
Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. That was called a short commercial.
I like it.
Getting better at them. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. As you can see from our rundown, I typed something absurd. Nuggets on upset alert? This is the shortest way I could think to write to talk about the playoffs, every playoffs, instead of just being like playoff seeding, blah, blah, blah. Because in my mind, it was about the game on Sunday because I was under the impression that if the Nuggets won tonight, the game on Sunday, well, if they win tonight and the two teams behind them, the Thunder and the Wolves, lose, Sunday would not matter.
Correct.
The odds of that happening are really, really small.
Yep.
If that happens, would the Nuggets be on upset alert Sunday?
I think the only way the Nuggets are on upset alert is if they do clinch. Then they're on upset alert because they definitely don't care. But we'll see, man. I think that I think they're going to come in and play their guys early. And I think kind of once middle of third quarter hits, I think they're probably going to shut them down. But you got to understand, like they have Sunday, they're playing Sunday, but then they're off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for sure. I haven't even looked at the schedule for the playoffs, but I know that's just 3 days, but that's 3 more days than they normally get. And especially being the number 1 overall seed, usually you get, a 2-game, I guess a 2 days off in between one of the games somewhere. And so I expect them to come out and play early for sure, because I don't expect all three teams to do what they need to do for them to clinch. So we'll see at least either the Timberwolves or the Thunder. But I'm just curious why they must have split enough games to not have a definitive tiebreaker, because if not, that would have said that, right? If they win and the Timberwolves lose, then they clinch. And even if the Oklahoma City Thunder win, they still clinch with a win. So you would think it would say that, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Man, I don't know either, because you got if you're the Nuggets too, you're looking at, you might have the Lakers or the Warriors. Like whoever's in that 8, like that, the play-in tournament's going to be nasty.
Very nasty.
Like all those teams are, I mean, not the Kings right now, but I wouldn't want to see any of those teams really.
I got a question for you. All right. So I know we're talking about the Denver Nuggets and that they're part of this, but let's talk about the Nuggets, Thunder, and the Timberwolves. Okay. All three teams that are in the top 3 seeds. One of them will be the 3rd spot. What team do you think would like to be in a certain spot the most? Whether it is 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, is there a seed that you're like, hey, this would actually benefit them the most? And because I have my opinions, but I also think some of it doesn't matter.
Man, I think I would want the 3 seed.
At what team? All of them would want the 3 seed?
No. If I'm OKC, I want the 3 seed.
Right. That's where I am. And I think that Denver doesn't care, because I think Denver matches up with whoever. And I think that's why Denver wins.
Yes.
But I also can see Oklahoma City Thunder saying, hey, we're good in the 3 seed. Because I'm curious of what that separation is, because right now in the standings, I see OKC and Minnesota tied, and they have OKC tied at the 3rd. With Minnesota, they're tied, so that puts them at the 3 seed. I'm guessing they have lost the tiebreaker, which puts them at the 3. I would assume.
Oh, I think that's got to be it.
They want to make sure they mirror what the Timberwolves are doing, right? So if they do win, then I think they're okay if they were to lose. So I think you could see OKC lose tonight, potentially to the Bucks. But realistically, if I'm OKC, get me out of the first 2 spots, because I do not want to have a chance to either play Phoenix, Sacramento, Golden State, or the Lakers.
LeBron, KD, or Steph. You're gonna have to play one of them. No,
horrible. That sounds horrible for me.
For a team that's not been to the playoffs, instead you could get the Pelicans, another team that's not been to the playoffs.
Yep.
Give me that any day of the week.
Yeah, you're not getting down to 4. It's impossible, right? So you can't get down to 4 to get out of that spot to possibly play. But I think your best matchup is going up against Minnesota, right? If you had to, and staying away from the Denver Nuggets as long as possible.
Got to stay away from. Goes through them at the very end. You don't want to play them.
Yeah. So I think OKC at the 3 has to be what they want.
Who do you have in the finals of the Western Conference? I don't care about the East. The East sucks. It's going to be Boston.
I really think it's going to be Boston and Denver. I just there's too much uncertainty over there in the East. I think the Knicks are playing well, and I think they could give a run to the Celtics, because I think they're actually better without Randall sometimes. And Celtics aren't big. And if you look at the Western Conference, I think Minnesota has a really good chance to be really good. I cannot ever go against Jokic with how smart he plays and with how well he is. And I think Karl Anthony Towns coming back actually hurts them. It really does.
I would shut him down. I don't like Cat, and I think they're cooking right now. Like, I think they're a better team without him doing his weird stuff on the court.
It's not even that. I think it changes their flow of, their style that they've been playing in. I think everybody assumes a certain role and has to adjust and figure it out once Cat went out. And now that Cat comes back, you're like, but we've been doing this the whole time and it's been working. Let me kind of keep trying to do that because it's working. And then you try to adjust, and then it's just like, what is happening? They're going to end up getting, if he comes back and does play in the playoffs, I think they're going to struggle with whoever they play in the first round. I think they could be on upset alert.
Yeah. Upset alert. It's because I had him at the beginning of the season. I've got Boston and the Lakers.
I hate the Lakers.
I hate them too, man. I don't like them. And I didn't feel good about it, but
felt dirty.
If they can get in, watch them get in here and you watch the Lakers get the 7 seed. They get Timberwolves in the first round. I wouldn't want that. I mean, like, I don't know. I think the Lakers are still going to be a tough out. I think the Lakers get past the first round if they can. I don't know. The play-in is going to be wild. I think the Kings are going to probably lose first, and then again, and then again.
Wow.
They lost Malik Monk, man.
Yeah.
And Kevin Huerter, my guy. Like, we're basically the same person.
Basically.
We're basically the same guy. Do you care about the East? I mean, like, is it worth watching at all? I don't.
I've really enjoyed watching the Knicks play. I really have. I think Brunson's been incredible, man. I just think that when you see a lot of these teams, they're definitely mid, in my opinion, just a ton. But I love Orlando, even though they've struggled as of late. I love Orlando. I love the Knicks. The Celtics have just been on cruise control. And I just think that these teams have been good. The issue is they just lost Giannis out in the East pretty much because of his calf issue. That scares me to death, and it's not even my calf, and it's not even my team. But also Embiid. And Embiid, like, that scares me. Like, he just doesn't look the same. I think that they're all good enough to win a series, but I think that's it.
I just think that the floor.
Yeah, I think these other teams are too good, but realistically, I don't have any stock in any of them. Like, even like the Heat. The Heat's are going to be a play-in team. Like, what are we doing? Like,
no, man.
Every year, can they not just win a few more games? Can they not try it harder just a little bit?
Jimmy Butler was riding a horse downtown Miami the other day. A horse. Miami's too hot for horses. Like, it's really concerning on a bunch of levels. I think there was a game that day. I don't know what he was doing. I didn't
know you see that. I had no idea.
Dude, I'll find you. It's him dressed like Sergeant Pepper, and he's on a damn horse in the middle of Miami. It's awesome. It's awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
I wish that I could do that.
You can.
In Nashville. Well, yeah, I could do that in Nashville. It'd probably be normal. Just a normal white guy driving a horse. Gross. All right, we're going to take another break, and then after that, we're going to talk about our weekend plans, because everybody working on the weekend after this break.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're gonna play you, bang, 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 and hopefully everybody understand. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game. Right. All of us, to the last person on the bench, you got an ego, but all of us can't be the man. Yeah. You got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. Mm-hmm. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping this logo. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. The only problem with the short commercials is it looks like the only show we have is Sane Show, and that's not true. We got other shows. We've got the Grizz 901 live postgame show, which are you going to be on tonight?
I will not be on tonight.
I'm going to be on tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
I was going to ask Nate who his guest was. So I'm glad you're joining him.
I hope we just talk about Star Wars. I keep
Probably.
trying to lead it all back to Star Wars, and I can't tell if he's ignoring me or not. I don't know. It's like he's
Probably not.
expecting or something. I don't know. Speaking of expecting, what are you expecting to do this weekend?
Very good transition. I'm expecting to probably hang out with the kiddos and watch some basketball, watch some baseball. But honestly, it's probably a little bit of the Masters for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that. I obviously big golf fan, but I've seen a lot so far, and I've tried to watch as much as I can the Masters because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I do have some bets, and so I'll have to put in my own bets over the weekend on our show that we do, and so it's been good. Who
do you have? I'm just curious. I mean, like, who's your guy to watch?
I have Scotty and Brooks Koepka.
Yeah, I think Scotty. He just switched putters, right? Like, did he just switch the putter he's been using recently to like
I don't know.
great effect after I think it was someone
I heard something about that. I haven't really followed. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah,
I like Scotty a lot. Golf's just fun, man. It's like I knew that I was maturing into a man when I was like, man, when did this get good?
Right.
Like I just started like wanting to watch it.
Yeah.
It was probably Tiger. I mean, Tiger changed Masters forever, but it's like I've got it on right now. It's like right on. Why? I don't know why the NFL Live girl's on it, but whatever. So is that all you're doing? Golf?
Speaking of Tiger, he's actually projected to make the cut. It's like he's playing well enough, right? He should be. He's the cut line's like +4 at this point. But yeah, I don't have a ton going on this weekend. My entire family, like my wife and 2 daughters, have a Girl Scout camp, and so it's all day Saturday. And so we're doing our sports in the morning, and so they're going to be a little bit late for it. And so I have to coach the t-ball team, and then go take the oldest one to soccer, and then send her out to both go to camp, and then call it a day. But honestly, they're going to be there till 7, so it's just me at the house, and I'm so excited to not do anything. I'm really kind of excited. I'm just going to watch sports. I don't know what's on. I'm just going to watch sports. So if you need me, I'll be on my couch.
Oh man, and nothing beats those days where you have like multiple different good options.
Yep.
You can't beat that. This is a good time of year. March is good.
It is. Well, we're not in March anymore, but yeah, I get it.
Oh my God, you're right. I'm going to be 34 in a month.
What day?
May 19th.
All right. We won't forget. Everybody will remember.
Don't do that. I've had it's not important. Now you made it important. It wasn't important until you made it. 34 is a poopy year. I'm going backpacking this weekend. My first backpacking trip ever. It's just a day hike.
Where?
I should have done this. So I'm not
a mountain, maybe.
I don't know. It's God. I'm just gonna say words and it's gonna be wrong. My partner, she and her family, and they have some friends. They're big backpackers, big hikers, big outdoorsy people. I wasn't necessarily one of those growing up. I liked sitting in the ground and playing in the dirt and the grass and just running around in woods as a kid. But I wouldn't say that I was like, I'm going to go hiking.
Right,
I was more like the poorer version of that, where I was just like rolling around in the woods. And so they're all really good at it. And I've wanted to go. And so she was like, we're going to go on this trip. And I was like, cool. I don't know what I'm doing. So you just tell me what I need to bring. And I've got all my outfitted stuff for my job. I get like a wellness reimbursement. So I'm getting all of this stuff reimbursed, and we got a tent, and it'll be nice to be outside because I've been in my house with 4 animals and no one else for 10 days.
Wow.
Because my partner, she had to go to Los Angeles for a work trip, like an emergency work trip. And then our son was with his dad. And so it was just me. And let me tell you, Luke likes to Luke doesn't like that. He doesn't, Silence and Luke do not, I like to talk a lot, and I will fill every possible void of silence with talking. And when it's just you and 4 dogs, man,
Figure out something. Should have done should have done a show.
Oh, and that's on top of someone at my job quitting on our team. So it's like it was a stressful 10 days, man. I lost 10 pounds.
Wow.
I don't eat like when I'm by myself, I won't eat. I didn't eat for 3 days just because I don't.
Shut up.
Dude, I don't. One of my single the idea of cooking something to eat like
You
me.
don't eat.
I just don't eat. I got used to not when I was bartending, the shifts would be so long, and it was like I'd get up at 2 a.m. and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm hungry. I can't eat this late. I have acid reflux." So I would go to bed, do it all over again, and so I just trained my body to not be able to eat for 3 days.
That's not healthy.
I know it's not healthy. I don't like it, but nothing stresses me out more than like stepping into a kitchen and being like, "Okay, what am I going to cook for myself? Well, I have to figure out what I'm going to." And I worked in restaurants for 16 years. If you were like Luke, follow these instructions in a restaurant, I would nail it. But me having to be the guy that has to figure it all out, I will literally not eat for 3 days rather than have that overwhelm me.
Wow.
awful.
This is there's a lot to unpack with this.
Tell me about it, bro. You should, my therapist, it's a lot of money, bro. A lot of different ones. They don't all stick,
They don't all stick.
They don't. You got to find the ones for you, man. They're like Pokemon. You want to, I don't know if you want to catch them all, but you like want to, you start out with your starter Pokemon at the beginning. You don't just, you got to try them out. But Pokemon people know what I'm talking about. We were supposed to talk about my weekend, and now we're talking about my inability to be alone and
Therapy
cook for
session.
myself. If anyone has any tips on how to cook, please let me know.
Listen, I'm excited to be alone. I enjoy some of that because of with the 2 kids, obviously my wife, we're always going, especially the weekends. I've been busy the past, I'd say 10 or so days with like just so much going on. And then like, I'm going to be out in Houston all next week because of my job. And so I'm going to be there pretty much, the entire week. Cool thing about that is there's actually the Braves are playing the Astros that week. And so I literally, huge Braves fan, get a chance to go down there and see it. It was a complete accident. I didn't even book the dates, that I chose. They chose a different dates that I had to, adjust to go with, and ended up being the correct ones, right, for me. So listen, it's awesome. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Baseball's the most fun to do live too. Like going to a baseball game. So fun.
I've never been to the Houston Astros. I think it's Minute Maid Park. I don't think I've never been there. So it'll be cool.
I used to like Jeff Bagwell. Remember him?
Yep. Love old just swole Jeff.
Yeah, you remember when everyone was on steroids in the 90s?
He's always on steroids.
They were just picking each other up, and we were like, this is normal. This is normal. All right,
sure.
Speaking of steroids, that's going to do us for today's show. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all on Monday. Daniel will not. He will see you all on Sunday with your kids, right?
Yep. 2 girls,
I'm gonna watch
Penelope
this.
and
That's
Margot.
the best episode. It's awesome.
It will be.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Don't do anything that we wouldn't do. Unless you want to. See ya.